Hi. A lot of people have been asking me over the last 24 hours what I think about Afghanistan. I was kind of surprised, but then I realized they know that I work there. They know that I wrote a book about working there, so the questions were logical. First of all, let me see if I can answer the questions. Are you surprised at how quickly the Afghan government capitulated? Yes, I am. I am because they had a fair bit of training for 20 years. They were given a lot of resources, tanks, helicopters, planes, ammunition, guns, and so on by NATO. So that was rather surprising. Um, Two, do you think the US/slash NATO should be helping out? I certainly do. NATO can't be there forever, and they've lost a lot of lives. But it's been 20 years, and I said in an interview with the Fatima magazine 2 months ago, which will be coming out, I believe, in September. Um, that I believe there's no reason that America couldn't have given tactical support and aerial support. Nobody, especially third world countries, can mess with the American Air Force. This is Afghanistan, right? And satellite support and so on is not the end of the world. And I'm really surprised. There's a flip side of the coin, perhaps. I know there was some politician on CNN, and he said, "Look, America can win every war against the Taliban, but you cannot keep propping up an Afghan government who, after 20 years, is still so disorganized that they could not even give bullets to their soldiers on the front line to fight the insurgents." Now, is this true? I don't know, but that's what he said. But, I am shocked that after 20 years of support training and with the resources they have, that they could just fall back so easily. I think part of the problem is that there are a lot of tribal chiefs in Afghanistan, and if they had supported the government more, it would have been more difficult. I'm just shocked that, even from a distance, NATO couldn't have just, bombed the insurgents. The other thing was women. What do you think is going to happen to the women? Good luck. Good luck. The Taliban is well aware of many of the people, male and female, who have worked with NATO. They're also aware of many of the women who have taken job positions, political positions, who have studied. And a lot of these people, if I was them, I'd be scared to death. And this is why they're trying to flee the country. The Taliban had said about 10, 11 years back, because, life had changed so drastically for Afghanistan, that if they ever got back into power, there'd be a different government. Basically meaning less harsh, more tolerant. That will now will have to be seen to be believed. I don't think so. I think they're going to be the harsh guys that they were. And I think for women who got educated, women who have been like lawyers, one or two judges, one or two politicians, don't talk about the talk shows and so on. I'm sure the guys operating TV stations must be fleeing like you can't believe. All those women who educated themselves. I mean, this is penalty by death under a Taliban regime. Again, you're talking about a regime that makes the Iranian government look very progressive in general, and especially towards women. So I wish those people the best of luck. I know the people who worked with NATO must be terrified, because the thing is, you can't even trust the people in your own area. You don't know who sympathizes with the Taliban, and you will get sold out from time to time. It happens. It happens. If I was some of these people, I would be very, very worried, and I can understand why they want to flee the country. It is sad. It is sad that after 20 years of billions, maybe even more than $1 trillion being spent in Afghanistan, and thousands of lives lost, and so many people maimed, that NATO just walks out and leave it back the same way they found it. Perhaps the Afghan government has to take some responsibility. They are rife with accusations of corruption. The Afghan people don't trust their politicians. They don't trust the Afghan government, and they often look at the Afghan government as nothing but more than an American puppet, which affects your credibility, which affects your support. Personally, I can't believe, I know there are hardcore Muslims in Afghanistan, but to go back to such an archaic regime, that really did nothing for the economy, did nothing for education, and brutally slaughtered people live on public TV. I'm talking beheadings. And they don't just cut off your head, they kind of cut it off slowly like they're cutting cheese. It's a terrible thing. So I think the only way to resolve this is for NATO once again to have to step in, but NATO can't be there forever. So what happened to those 20 years of training the Afghans? It looks from the outside looking in like it was an abysmal failure. I can tell you, those of us who were there 10, 11 years ago, we didn't expect Afghanistan to be able to stand on their own 2 feet very well circa 2020, 2021, but we did expect some degree of competence with the assistance of NATO. I think they just to walk out like that without some semblance of support it's kind of sad, really. It's kind of sad. There's no reason, I say NATO, not the USA, couldn't have assembled about 3,000 troops around Kabul and kept Kabul safe. And maybe in the nearby provinces as well. Even, and again, 3,000 by NATO, not the USA, would have meant less American lives lost and, resources being spent. If you want to be selfish, this is a country with trillions of dollars of minerals in the ground. So, help them out, use them the way you're using Iraq, if that's the excuse you have to use to help those people. It's a frightening time for them. And again, for those people who worked with NATO and lived a good life for 15, 20 years, they must be rather nervous right now. So good luck to Afghanistan. Oh yeah, by the way, wrote a book right here. Right here. My experience in Afghanistan, putting up with Taliban, but working with the local Afghans and so on. No, I don't work in the kitchen. Surviving war torn Afghanistan for 3 years. Just a bit of a plug. So if you want to see my perspective, the only Caribbean perspective, and perhaps one of the few civilians to write a book on his experiences in Afghanistan, I'll be putting a link below. So let's pray for Afghanistan. Most of us live a very safe life.